Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. What we have here today is an orchid plant, and it is in generally good health, but there are clear signs indicating it is ready for attention. The positive indicators are the numerous thick, plump aerial roots that are silvery white or green. These demonstrate active growth and successful moisture uptake from the air. Furthermore, the leaves are a deep, healthy green color, suggesting adequate light exposure. However, the plant does show signs of stress. The leaves appear slightly limp, droopy, and curved downward, a condition often caused by dehydration, or in some cases, the inability of the roots within the pot to absorb water due to either dry conditions or degraded potting media, root rot. So grab your tools, and let's get started. When we remove the old pot, we get to have a closer look at the roots. It's not the worst condition we could find, but it definitely needs some fixing. At first glance, some roots look healthy. They are firm, silvery white, or even green when hydrated, which is a good sign. However, there are also areas where the roots look shriveled, dry, or darker in color. These are signs of stress, and they tell us that the plant has been struggling to take in enough water. The first step is to carefully remove the old substrate. This is very important because old moss or bark can break down over time, holding too much moisture or compacting so tightly that the roots cannot breathe. Use your fingers gently to tease away the old material and work slowly so you don't break the healthier roots. As you go along, you might notice some pieces of moss sticking tightly to the roots. That's normal, but make sure to remove as much as possible. This will give the roots a fresh environment when we repot later. After you're done, grab yourself a clean pair of scissors or a sterilized shear to trim off any roots that are no longer able to provide nutrients for the plant. When you inspect the roots, look for the unhealthy ones. These will feel soft, mushy, or hollow when you press them, and they are often brown or black in color. Such roots can no longer absorb water or nutrients, and if left behind, they may even spread rot to the healthy parts. On the other hand, the roots that are still firm, plump, and silvery or green should be left untouched. Those are the lifelines of the orchid, and cutting them would only weaken the plant. As you trim, always make sure your tool is clean and sharp. Wipe it down with alcohol between cuts, especially if you encounter any infected or rotting areas. This will keep the orchid safe from bacteria and fungi. Take your time here. Think of it as giving the orchid a little health checkup, making sure only the strongest and healthiest roots remain to support new growth. Next, we will give the plant a gentle water spray. This step helps rinse away any loose debris or tiny particles that might still be clinging to the roots. Use a spray bottle filled with clean, room temperature water. Avoid using cold water because sudden temperature shock can stress the orchid. Hold the roots gently in your hand and mist them evenly, turning the plant slightly so every side gets a refreshing rinse. This light spray also helps rehydrate the roots after handling. Freshly trimmed roots, in particular, benefit from a gentle moisture boost. You'll notice the healthy roots turning a brighter green as they soak in the water. That's a good sign they are alive and ready to continue supporting the plant. Lastly, let's give the plant a nice cleanup with a piece of dry cloth. This step may seem small, but makes the big difference. Take a soft, clean cloth or even a dry tissue and gently wipe the leaves one by one. This removes any dust, water spots, or residue left behind during the repotting process. Clean leaves not only look beautiful, they also allow the orchid to breathe and photosynthesize more efficiently. As you wipe, pay attention to both the top and the underside of each leaf. Pests like to hide underneath, and keeping them clean helps you spot any early signs of trouble. Now let's move on to making the solution. Start by taking a clean container and fill it with fresh, room temperature water. This will be the base that carries and dilutes our ingredients, so the orchid can benefit without being harmed. For our next ingredient, we're going to add something a little special: lemongrass essential oil. This isn't just for fragrance. Lemongrass is known for its natural antibacterial and antifungal properties, which makes it a wonderful, organic way to give our orchids a gentle layer of protection. But keep in mind, essential oils are very strong, so a little goes a long way. All you need is just a few drops, 2 or 3 at most. Adding too much can actually overwhelm the plant instead of helping it. Not only does it smell wonderful, but it's also a sign the solution is activating and ready for use. Next, we're going to proceed by placing the plant into the solution. Carefully lower the orchid until the entire root system is fully submerged under the mixture. Make sure every root, even the smaller aerial ones, is touching the liquid. This ensures that the solution can reach all areas, loosening any hidden debris and giving the plant the full benefit of the lemongrass water. Once the plant is comfortably submerged, we're going to let it sit for about 20 minutes. This soaking time allows the roots to slowly rehydrate after being handled, while the natural properties of the lemongrass get to work, refreshing and cleansing the orchid. While we wait, let's take this time to prepare our other ingredients. For this step, we'll be using a fresh aloe vera leaf. Start by washing the leaf thoroughly to remove any dust or residue. Once it's clean, carefully cut it into small pieces, about 2 to 3 centimeters each. The gel inside aloe vera is packed with natural vitamins, minerals, and antibacterial properties, which makes it a perfect companion for orchid care. Once you've cut the pieces, place them inside a clean container. Then, fill the container with fresh water until all the aloe chunks are fully covered. Now we're going to let this sit for about 20 minutes as well. During this time, the nutrients and gel inside the aloe will slowly infuse into the water, creating a natural tonic that we can use later for strengthening the plant. After about 20 minutes, we can now remove the plant from the solution. But before we move on, let's give it a little extra care to make sure it absorbs the most nutrients possible. Take a clean tissue or a soft cloth. Dip it gently into the same solution until it's nicely soaked. Now, use this to brush carefully along the surface of the leaves, moving in smooth strokes from base to tip. This step not only allows the leaves to take in the beneficial properties of the lemongrass, but also helps to wipe away any lingering dust, dirt, or residue that might block the plant from breathing properly. Make sure to brush both sides of each leaf. The underside is often where pests like to hide, and this simple cleaning can help keep them away. Let's move on to our aloe vera solution. By now, it has been sitting for 20 minutes, and the nutrients have fully infused into the water. First, grab yourself a strainer and slowly pour the mixture through it. This will filter out the aloe vera chunks and compounds that haven't broken down completely, leaving us with a clean, nutrient-rich liquid that's ready to use. Once that's done, we're going to add in another powerful ingredient: honey. Just 1 teaspoon is enough. Honey acts as a natural antibacterial agent, while also providing sugars and trace minerals that can encourage root development and boost the orchid's energy. After adding the honey, pour in about 500 milliliters of fresh water. This balances the solution so it's gentle enough for the plant, while still keeping all the benefits inside. Finally, give it a good, steady stir until the honey is fully dissolved. What you'll have now is a natural, enriched tonic. Aloe vera for growth and healing, honey for strength and protection, all blended into one perfect solution for your orchid. Now, what you want to do first is gently place the plant upside down. This way, only the leaves and the main body are submerged under the enriched solution. By doing this, we allow the aloe vera and honey mixture to directly coat the plant's surface, feeding it through both the leaves and the crown area. Leave it there for about 15 minutes. During this time, the plant will slowly absorb the nutrients it needs, while the solution also helps to cleanse and protect the leaf surface from any hidden bacteria or pests. After 15 minutes, take the plant out of the solution. Now grab a clean container and carefully pour the same solution into it. But this time we're going to focus on the roots. Place the orchid so that its roots are fully submerged under the liquid. Leave it there for another 15 minutes. During this time, the aloe and honey mixture will work its way directly into the root system, hydrating, strengthening, and giving the plant a much-needed boost of energy. This two-step process, first the leaves and crown, then the roots, ensures that the entire orchid gets evenly nourished and refreshed. Another 15 minutes pass. Now let's take the plant out and give a quick inspection. Look closely at the roots first. You'll notice that many of them have turned a brighter green, which is a clear sign that they are fully hydrated. Healthy roots will feel firm and plump when gently pressed, while any that are still mushy or brown may need a trim later on. Now, check the leaves. After soaking, they should look a little fresher with a slight sheen from the solution. The brushing we did earlier, combined with this soak, will have removed most dust or residue, making the leaves cleaner and better prepared to absorb light. Don't forget to glance at the crown of the orchid. It should look moist but not waterlogged. With the remaining solution, don't throw it away. You're still going to need it. Prepare yourself a fresh pot filled with clean pine bark. This will be the new home for your orchid. Now, slowly pour the solution directly into the pot. Make sure every piece of bark is fully submerged under the liquid. By doing this, we're allowing the bark to soak up all the nutrients from the aloe and honey mixture. When it dries later, it will hold on to just enough goodness to support the orchid as it settles in. Once everything is covered, leave it like this for one full day. After one full day, the pine bark is ready. Let's move our orchid into its new home. Start by choosing a pot with a clear drainage hole. This is very important because orchids love airflow and hate sitting in water. Begin by filling a layer of the soaked pine bark into the bottom of the pot. Then gently position the orchid in the center, making sure the roots are spread out comfortably. Once the orchid is in place, carefully cover the rest of the roots with more pine bark. Do this slowly, tapping the pot lightly as you go, so the bark settles in between the roots without leaving big gaps. At the end, your orchid should be standing upright and secure. Not too tight, but not wobbly either. This balance will help it adjust quickly to its refreshed environment. Once that's done, gently cover the very top layer with moss. This soft blanket will help hold in moisture while still giving the roots plenty of air. It also acts as a little signal for you. When the moss looks dry, it's usually time to check if the orchid needs water. Now, from this point on, routine care becomes absolutely critical. Your orchid has a fresh pot, a healthy set of roots, and a strong foundation. But the real success depends on consistency. Water it carefully. Never too much, never too little. And always let the bark dry slightly before watering again. Keep the leaves clean by wiping them down every week or so. This keeps pests away and helps the orchid breathe and absorb light more efficiently. And don't forget lighting. Orchids thrive best in bright, indirect light. Too much sun can scorch the leaves, while too little will slow down growth. After 3 weeks, you'll start to notice some exciting changes in your orchid. And these are clear signs that your plant is settling into its new home. First, take a look at the leaves. They should feel firmer to the touch compared to before. If they were once limp and soft, now they carry more strength, holding themselves upright with a healthy sheen. In many cases, the color deepens into a rich green, showing that the plant is finally balancing its water intake and photosynthesis. Now, move your eyes to the roots. Healthy orchid roots will often reveal their progress in subtle ways. You might see the tips of aerial roots turning bright green or silvery white, a signal that they're actively absorbing moisture and nutrients. Some roots may even begin to peek out from the bark, showing that the orchid is confidently extending itself into its environment. At the crown of the plant, the very center where new growth emerges, you may notice a small, tender leaf slowly pushing its way upward. This is one of the best indicators that your orchid feels secure. It is investing energy into new growth, not just survival. Each millimeter of this new leaf is proof that your care is working. Another detail you might observe is the moss on the top layer. If maintained correctly, it should stay lightly moist without being soggy. This gentle humidity helps the orchid roots regulate themselves, while also mimicking the conditions orchids experience in the wild, clinging to tree branches with moss and organic matter around them. And here's a subtle but very encouraging sign: the overall posture of the plant. Orchids that are stressed often tilt, sag, or look unbalanced in the pot. After 3 weeks of steady care, your orchid should stand more upright and stable. It's a quiet transformation, but it speaks volumes about the progress happening beneath the surface. And there you have it. From repotting with fresh pine bark, to adding the protective moss layer, and finally guiding your orchid through its first 3 weeks of recovery. Each step brings your plant closer to full health. Remember, orchids don't transform overnight. They reward patience, consistency, and gentle care. Every firm leaf, every green root tip is a small victory worth celebrating. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me share more tips with orchid lovers just like you. And of course, hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next update. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep nurturing your orchids, and soon enough, you'll see them reward you with beautiful, long-lasting blooms.